Hey, Heart Seekers, welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, where we believe that our hearts are the foundation of our well being and happiness. I am your host, Keona Talana. In today's episode, you all, I want to check in on your patience. How do you wait? And sometimes in this waiting season, in this season where we have to be patient, it can be the most troubling, trying time because it's that area where we want to speed it up. We want to hurry up and get through this season so we can get to our next. But I believe that we have to learn how to properly wait. And in this season that we're in, I believe that some of you all are just in a season where you have to be patient, where you have to kind of just go through life as it is. And in this season, there are going to be some things that you're going to need for your next season, but you're going to have to learn how to properly wait on it. I know sometimes that it may be easier for us to try to figure out ways to try to speed up the process, for us to kind of go around what we think is taking too long, that delayed gratification. And like they say now, everyone wants this microwave era. But I believe that sometimes good things are worth the wait. And so if we are always trying to figure out how to get past something, then what we need to be paying attention to, we will often miss. So let me just give you the definition for patience. Patience is the ability to endure difficult circumstances such as perseverance in the face of delay, tolerance of provocation without responding in annoyance, anger, or forbearance when under strain, especially when faced with longer term difficulties. Patience is often referred to in terms of what it means to wait quietly and steadily, enduring life's hardships without complaint or irritation. Patience is also a quality of self-control and an aspect of emotional regulation where one does not immediately act upon an impulse, but instead evaluates the situation and decides on a controlled and timed response. In many traditions and philosophies, patience is considered a virtue and is often associated with the ability to remain calm and composed. It is also seen as an essential aspect of success, as many goals require a sustained effort over a long period to achieve. So if you need to take a second to pause this and go back to listen, I'll ask that question again. How patient are you? Or when things begin to show up in your life, are you that person who typically makes emotional decisions? Do you act speedily upon what is right in front of you without paying attention to what potentially could happen if you don't think about what can transpire in that next moment? And so, as I gave you that definition, most people, when they are waiting patiently, they are annoyed, they're angry, they are trying to hurry things up. But it's said that patience is a virtue. And so, for those individuals who understand how to properly wait, you oftentimes get what it is that you're looking for right when you need it. And then for those who try to skip the steps, what typically happens is that very thing that you needed to have right there in that moment, you've now detoured around it. But now you're having to go back to it because it's necessary and needed. And so if we are even looking at just from a spiritual aspect, in one of my favorite books where we're talking about individuals, the Israelites who were traveling for 40 years on a trip that should have only taken them between 11 and 13 days. What would typically happen with them? Although they were well taken care of while in this wilderness state, they grew weary. They started complaining. They were missing their mark in all areas. And it took them 40 years to do something that should have only taken them 2 weeks. And so when you're looking at where you currently are, what areas in your life do you need to be a little more patient? What are some of the things that you have hurried up and made decisions on? And then when you have made the decision to move forward, you regret the very thing that you now have because you should have waited. And so I want to admonish you in this season that it's going to be imperative for you to learn how to properly wait. When we talk about even just the definition of patience, the Hebrew meaning of that is for individuals to become discouraged. So individuals become discouraged while they are waiting, but are you properly waiting if you are discouraged? No, you're not. And I believe that everything happens for a reason, and also everything happens at its appointed time. And so if we know that everything happens for a reason and that everything happens at its appointed time, then we should be learning how to properly wait. We should learn what it is we need to do while we are waiting for the very thing that we know is going to show up. And how do we know that it's going to show up? Because we have already seen it before we have seen it in order for it to show up. We have visualized the very thing that we want. And so it has no choice but to show up in our lives. But what do? We get impatient. We say that it's taking too long. I don't know why they are just moving so slow. Well, maybe because what you need to be doing in this season is preparing you for where it is that you are getting ready to go. But if you're not properly stewarding that time, then once you get there, you are not well equipped. You are lacking the very thing that you have. And now you're in possession of it, but you don't have all of the qualities, the characteristics, the person that you need to be now that you have the very thing that you want. So while you are waiting, take time to heal your heart. Take time to work on your mindset. Take time to do the necessary things so that when you get what you want, you are now prepared for it. So I want to just kind of give you some general things that you can do while you are properly waiting. While you are waiting for the very thing that you know is going to show up in your life. One good thing that you can do is be mindful. Just begin to practice mindfulness. Center your thoughts. Be present in the moment, because those things are going to reduce your anxiety and your waiting while you are also fostering a sense of peace. You can breathe through this process. Learn to take some deep breaths. It calms your nervous system down so that you have the ability to be able to refocus. While you are waiting, you can set some realistic expectations. Sometimes we have aimed too high for certain things. And so now we are frustrated when it may seem like it's taken too long. Well, maybe you need to look at what it is that you are now asking for and set the realistic expectation of that. You're still going to reach the goal, but maybe it's something that you need to do in between that time. While you're waiting, eliminate your distractions, because you need to be able to occupy your mind with something that is going to allow you to be productive and is going to absorb some of what's going on while you are waiting. So it could be reading a book, listening to music. When was the last time that you all sat down and did a puzzle, some sort of activity? We also can, as we are waiting, we are now practicing gratitude, because we have to be able to shift our focus to what we are thankful for in this present moment, rather than trying to fixate our minds on the waiting process or the future. I shared with you all a little bit before, visualize your outcome. Remind yourself of the benefits of what you are waiting on. Because as you are visualizing the outcome, you are also practicing patience. Create a mantra for yourself. What are some phrases that you can do to calm yourself down, to create some sort of affirmations that can help bring you back to this state of being patient? You can also journal. Write out what your experiences are as you are waiting and reflecting on where it is that you are getting ready to go. Another good thing that you can do as you are patiently waiting, exercise. Physical activity is automatically going to reduce your stress. So it's going to also help you to improve your mood while you're waiting. It makes you feel better in this waiting process. Find things that are going to make you extremely happy while you're waiting, and take your mind off of the fact that, I haven't gotten there yet. And you heard me say yet, because you will get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Everything is not going to be microwavable in our lives. Some things are just going to take time. Just like a pregnancy to a birth, it takes 9 months for a human to be brought into this world. So do you think that everything that you're going to have is just going to be instantaneous? No, that would be asinine. So begin to learn how to patiently wait. Some other things that you can do is to seek different perspectives. Remind yourself of the times when you were patiently waiting and it paid off, because that is going to help you with those urgent desires that you have, and it's going to strengthen that patience muscle. Another thing is going to be time management. Plan ahead. Pad your schedule with the ability to alleviate this rush of needing to wait. I know sometimes that it can get extremely difficult, and we want to try to push what we know we want, because it's like you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it. It's right there. But just as I said, certain things just take time. Certain things require a length of time. Certain things need to be developed in your waiting period. And so as you are waiting, learn to do so properly. Learn to work on your mindset. Learn to go through that whole list of things that I just shared with you that are going to help you to get to where it is that you are going to get to anyway. But it's going to make sure that you are prepared, because this is not going to be your last time when you're going to have to wait for something to show up in your life. Just like when we started school, it started out as kindergarten, and then it took us to 12th grade in order to get a diploma. It takes time. And then for those of us who went on to get college degrees, it was not a month for us to get a degree. For a bachelor's, it's 4 years. So good things take time. And I just want to make sure that we are understanding, we are trusting the process, we are trusting where we are trusting who we are trusting in the one who has put us here on this earth to give us everything that we want. But it's going to be not in our timing, but in its appointed time. And so let's make sure that we are properly and patiently waiting, so that when we get what it is that we have been waiting on, we know that it has been well worth our time, our effort, our gratitude, all of those things that we have been practicing to get to where we are, because this will not be the last time that we have to learn how to patiently wait. And so I just want to thank you all, because I know that life is a journey. We all know that life is a journey, and we all know that life happens. But the more tools that we have in our toolkit in order to get through this journey makes it oh so that much more enjoyable. And so I just want to thank you all for joining me for another adventure of the Heart's Hello Show, where together we embrace vulnerability, we learn from each other, and we spread love, one heartfelt hello at a time.